Hi everybody, welcome back to Bonsai Down Under. Hope everybody's well and have had a great day today. So today we're going to still carry on with some repotting of some smaller trees that I like to get into my strainer pots here. So get them in before the next growing season so they can get those roots to take off. So yeah, that's the plan today, to get those. I've got a Jacaranda and a juniper that I bought from one of the nurseries here. So, and I've had that in training for a while. I've had that in a pot for quite a while, but I want to see if I can get more growth to get it moving a bit more and grow a bit more quicker, sort of thing, with giving it some room in those air pruning baskets. So that's what's happening today. Thanks for those who have tuned in and who have already subscribed already. So if you like what we're doing here, share it with somebody, or somebody might like bonsai. So yeah, so anyway, we'll get started and I'll be right back with you with the first plant. Righto, here we are. We have our Jacaranda. Now this Jacaranda, what really took my eye with this, maybe as a bonsai, I thought it'd be really nice to get a bit of an umbrella style. So I'd like to start to maybe bring this down in height a little bit, and get some of these other branches here to start to sort of get a bit of movement in them, to bring them down a little bit, and then maybe with these two get a little bit of wiring happening when it's young. Just to, with the wiring, it's only there just to put it into place to get your initial shape that you want. With the Jacaranda, it's got a beautiful purple cluster of flowers that come out on it, so I think that's going to look really nice in a pot when it's a miniature style. I've got another one of these too. I'm gonna actually put into a bigger pot, which a larger scale, so I can have that as a feature in my garden later. So and these are good too, because if you want these as like a top canopy in a like a layering situation of a tropical garden, these are great for as your top canopy. So let them grow and they'll put a lot of shade out underneath those other plants that are down the bottom. I'll get this out and we'll get it to the stage where we'll start to work on the roots. All right, I'll be back soon. Well guys, I just got this out of the pot. As you can see how that what happens when you have them in those black pots for quite a while. I mean, this hasn't been that long in that pot, I'd say. So, but that's what happens, and your roots start to go around. They hit the edge of that pot, and they'll start to wrap around and cause like a basket there, which then those roots can't have any area to air out. And then what happens then is they start to cover each other up and start to suffocate each other. See, with the art of the bonsai, you want those roots to be able to have some room to branch out. So we've got to just clean all this out and get all these roots coming out, and then we'll see what we've got. All right, so I just wanted to quickly show you that. All right, we're back. I gave it a really good clean out. We took a lot of roots that were sitting down on the bottom of that root base. So yeah, so as you can see, a lot of these roots have started to travel just straight down, and we've got different root planes happening here. So there's some what I'd like to do is to basically give this a good haircut right back, so we get it on a nice flat sort of root plane, because what we're trying to do is train these sort of roots here, these smallest type roots, and they have all these little feeders off them. We want them to display out like that, and then shoot out more little feeders. We want to reduce these fatter roots that have actually really taken off here. So, and by doing that, we're going to balance out the growth on the top of the tree here. So what I'm actually trying to do here is just reduce the actual level and keep everything and try to get everything on the same sort of plane. We have roots up top here, that are really sort of good because they're already going out in that direction. But I do not want to risk it at the moment. I'm going to have to basically do a little bit of it at a time, I think, because otherwise I'll put too much stress on that plant, and the chance of it dying are pretty high. Just have a bit of a look here. Now there are still some on the bottom here that that are heading downwards. You want to just remove those roots because they'll, like I said, they're only going to fatten up and they're going to cause you trouble later on. So we're going to sort of square this off down here. I think is the best idea to get that nice and flat there. So it's all nice and clean underneath there. So now when we put our tree down, we can start to train those roots to go out there. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll give it another little rake out. Okay, now we've got roots, we've got a really strong root here, which is coming through here. It's a bit too strong, so we want to reduce that. And we've got some other little feeder roots feeding off that already, so what we'll do is we'll cut that back to stop that from overtaking and getting too strong there. Okay, we've got a root coming around. See how that root comes around there on a really funny angle? So we want to basically get rid of that root because that's going to fatten up and you're going to have a lot of drama there with that one later. There's a funny root here that's going up on a crazy little angle there. It's going shooting upwards and it's not sort of going in the right direction much there. So we got this one here that's on basically like a sort of a higher level. So I think that's a bit too high up. So I think I'm going to reduce that, take that off. We might just leave it like that for now, and then, like I said, we'll leave it in our air pruning pot, and then we'll see what these roots are going to do over the period of 2 years there. We'll leave it in this pot for a while and let it establish a new root system there, a stronger one. But I think that's going to really sort of balance out the root system a bit better, I think. There's a funny root there. We'll get rid of it. Anything that sort of looks like it's going on a weird angle, you sort of want to reduce it. Yeah, you got to be careful of how much you do remove. So anyway, I think we'll just leave it there, and then like we'll do is I'll zoom back out and we'll get this potted, and we'll cut back that top canopy a little bit too. Righto, let's get this jacaranda potted. Yeah, so I find that it's worked really good. A bit of charcoal in the bottom of the pot. Right, let's get some soil in. Oh no! Now, let's see where we want to put our tree. I've got an idea too with some of these trees. When I do first repot these trees, I'm thinking about maybe just getting a little bit of. I've got this green tie wire. Maybe just a little tie wire, wrap it around there, and wrap it around on that handle there. It'll just keep that nice and stable then. So I think that could be a good idea. So what we'll do is we'll cut a little bit of this green wire. This green wire too is quite safe, eh? It's like, I'll just do a little tie in here. Okay, come around the tree like that. And then back over to this side. What we'll do is give this a little feed around here with the chopstick. Nothing real fancy just yet. It's just to get it in this pot so those roots can start to travel in a new direction instead of going all, like they've been doing, straight down and wrapping around in that black pot. Now, what they'll do is now they'll branch out and they'll come out like that, and then they'll hit these holes. They'll try to come out to these holes here and start growing out. But then the sun hits them and they'll shrivel up and dry up. But then inside the pot is where the magic happens. It'll start to ramify again, new roots, and you get a really nice netting of fine feeder roots in your pot. All right. So what we'll do, like I said, is I think I might just do a trunk chop. It's not going to be anything really exciting, I'd say. So, but at the moment, and that's what you have to do with your trees when you're actually starting them off, because if you can't cut, like just do a complete trunk chop on a tree, you're not going to get any taper or a change of direction. You're going to get a tree that's going to scale all over the place, and you're not going to get much styling out of that. So you've got to sacrifice to cut it back, and then maybe you might have to wait 2 years or something like that. But at least then you haven't wasted 2 years of the tree just growing off in its own direction, and then having to do that later on, and the tree putting all that growth on, and then you've got to cut it all off again. So this tree is quite young, so I just want a little bit more direction. Maybe see if I can get some lower branching come through here. We'll just do a quick trunk chop on this one. Straight through here. Off goes the canopy. Bit. Chop. There we go. You could actually use that for a cutting. You could grow another jacaranda there if you wanted to. That's a nice sort of woody cutting that you could use. I could even put that into a pot and grow that as a cutting. We might just get a little bit of movement in this branch here, bring it out a little bit. Might do a little wiring on that one. Nothing really fancy. You just take a little bit of wire. Doesn't have to be really heavy, I don't think, for that. I'm not going to leave it on there. It's a good thing. See, when you've got branches that are young, I think that it makes your wiring a lot easier too when they're young. Don't need too much there. I just wiring is I don't know. People seem to say that wiring's, it can be a bit of an art to do it, but just give it a go. That's all it is. You got to give it a go, and then find out where you want to do it. Put your wire on your tree. How you put your wire on your tree. As I said, I only do this basically so I can get a little bit of movement happening here on this branch. Alright, so just emphasize that a bit. That's all we want, and just to leave that in there. Okay. So I don't really have any front or anything for this yet, so because it's only you know, it's only young, and all we're doing at the moment is establishing that root system. So like I said, we're not too worried about the canopy too much, but we just want to maybe start, you know, getting some things happening there and the direction, and getting a little bit of movement before those branches get a bit thicker. So it's a lot harder to move them around when they get a lot more established and thicker. Anyway, I'll be back soon, and we'll be back with the juniper. Okay.